Welcome to Colorful Journeys of Success. Listen to and watch our fascinating guests as they share colorful stories of success and how they help inspire. Now, here's Claire, the color wheeling lady and our host.
Welcome to Colorful Journey of Success. It's such a pleasure to have you join us. This is Colorful Journey of Success. We're going to have really a fantastic night. Anyway, the two lovely, absolutely talented guests that I have tonight, they're both singers, and they're just absolutely fantastic. So they are going to be on this particular show singing for us, but we're going to find out about the story and the life of a singer. So it's my pleasure to introduce two wonderful ladies. One is Melissa, and the other is Armel.
Yes.
Armel?
Armel.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's start with you, Melissa. Okay. Melissa, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Oh, and thank you.
Thank you for having me too.
I'm anxious to hear all about you, and I'm sure the audience would like to know more about you too. About the life of a singer. Growing up. Well, wait a minute. Wasn't it fun at the Cattleman the other night?
Yes, it was.
That's when I saw you. I hadn't seen you for a long time, and that was such a fun event. So I'm so glad that we were able to make this connection and set up the show tonight. I think it's fabulous. So let's ask a little bit of history about you. When you were growing up, could you see yourself as a singer?
No. I couldn't see myself doing any of the things that I do now. Now I'm a professional creativity instigator, and that wasn't even something I would have dreamed about as a child.
Say that one more time, a
creativity instigator.
Very good.
Yeah, so I empower people to get back to that innate sense of permission and entitlement that they were born with when it comes to their creative play.
Oh, we need to learn lessons from her. Yeah. Okay, that's wonderful. So how did you come up with that idea?
Well, I spent many years myself believing that I wasn't creative. And when I finally got back to my creativity in my late 20s, I dove into art, and I ended up turning it into a little business. And over about 10 or 12 years, I built up this business, making Jewish marriage contracts primarily, actually, and doing a lot of calligraphy.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and over that time of building up the business, I got very burned out because the only art that I was making was for clients, and I wasn't making any art for myself. So I lost touch with that, that creative, feeding my creative hungers. And I only got back to it about 2010.
Right. That was a turning point, wasn't it?
Huge turning point. Yes. When I finally realized that I needed to get back to a place of approaching my art like a little 4-year-old child playing in a sandbox. And the metaphor of the creative sandbox became my foundational metaphor for everything that I do. I really help people get back to that mind space of being a 4-year-old, playing and exploring. There's no wrong. It's all about process and not the product. Yeah.
I think we should all have a little sandbox on our kitchen table or something like that. Continually.
That would be great. Yes, absolutely.
That would be wonderful.
Okay. And so, how did the two of you meet? Now Armel, Armel, pardon me.
No problem.
That's all right. How did the two of you meet?
We met, actually, did we meet at the Cattleman's?
I think we met at the Cattleman's.
Or did we meet in Roger Letson's class?
I think we met at Cattleman's. We met through singing. That's how we know each other.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and for years, we've known each other. I don't even know how long we've known each other.
It was probably 2005 or something.
Yeah, at least.
Well, I think that was really a turning point in your life when you met each other first.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We both were going to this place, the Cattleman's, to sing, and also studying with a renowned Bay Area jazz teacher, Roger Letson. And we both helped each other and encouraged each other in our learning process as singers.
Yes.
I started doing gigs and so on and stuff like that. And then one time I had a gig booked and I had to go to Japan, and I couldn't do the gig, so I asked Melissa to
That's right.
to fill in for me, and so that was your first.
I think that was my first gig where I wasn't opening for somebody else, where it was purely my own gig, and she loaned me her equipment, and
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah,
Absolutely
it was cool,
fantastic.
and I was like, I knew that my regular steady gig would be taken care of.
And I brought you in to sing at a gig that I did years later, where we shared the stage.
Oh, fantastic.
And it was wonderful. Yeah, it was great. So and now, years later, here we are.
And now you're on TV.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
right.
Here we are on your show.
Well, you know, Colorful Journey of Success is, I designed it with the idea in mind of all the people involved. You know, it is a colorful journey. Our life is a colorful journey. And this is what the two of you have been through, and your turning points and everything. So this is absolutely wonderful. But because you're going to be singing first of all, let's talk about you. And you saw yourself singing as a child. You talked about that and your turning points. What about what you're doing? What about your goals?
My goals, well, my big vision right now is to really change the conversation around creative expression and play, which, you know, we grow up with this idea that that's somehow frivolous and it's self-indulgent and it's really only reserved for the elite few. And I really want to change that entire conversation so that creative play is seen as essential as reading, writing, and arithmetic, and as daily a practice as brushing your teeth. So that's
like
my
that.
big vision, is to change the world that way. And my personal goals, I love speaking about this stuff. I'm really passionate about it. The song I'm going to sing is all about my creative sandbox metaphor, and which is the foundation of everything that I teach. I would love to be teaching and speaking around the world.
Oh, I think that's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's quite a goal. That is quite a goal. Any particular countries?
Oh, well, how about Bali?
Bali in May.
Are you? Excellent.
Did you go to Turkey?
I did. I co-taught a creativity workshop in Istanbul in 2012. Yeah.
Oh, how exciting. Now, how did you make that connection?
You know, actually, it's somebody who signed up on my mailing list. I have a big audience of subscribers from all over the world who sign up on the list on my website, melissadinwiddie.com. And this woman signed up on my mailing list, and we just started a little email conversation. And I saw on her little email signature that she was an artist and creativity coach living in Istanbul. And I said, I've always wanted to go to Istanbul. And we just started talking about how we each had a dream of teaching creativity workshops in exotic locations around the world. And we decided to start with Istanbul since she already lived there. So
Perfect.
yeah, it was really, it was amazing.
You know, it's amazing how our lives change in different things, different ways. And who knows, you know, this one particular fellow by the name of, what was it, Mark, that he kind of brought so many musicians together. And when we went on Saturday night, and that particular event was kind of like going back in time, and all these musicians, they were absolutely fantastic. They played all the different types of instruments, and he was just calling on different musicians and singers, and so it was absolutely fantastic. So I'm so happy to have you here. And tell us about the songs that you've written.
Well, I've written a number of songs. The one that I love performing, especially right now, because I incorporate it into my keynote speeches, is called the Creative Sandbox Manifesto. And it's really the 10 rules, I call them, in air quotes, the 10 rules of the Creative Sandbox that I developed to help me let go of perfectionism and make art again after, you know, decades of not making art. So the song is really, it's those 10 rules that if you follow these rules, it will unblock all of your creative stuckness and get you back to that state of creative flow.
And you've written a book, or are you writing a book, or you plan to?
There will be a book. There will be a book.
Definitely write
Absolutely.
a book.
I have an ebook right now called the Erase the Chaos Toolkit, which is all about helping people deal with the sense of time crunch, chaos, and overwhelm, and my tips for that. But there will be a book, yes.
Oh, that'll be fantastic. But now you've created some tapes, right? Of your songs? In fact,
Oh, yes, I do have
could we
recordings.
maybe hear you maybe sing one of those songs?
Sure.
That would be really great. Shall we?
Oh, I
Shall
can't
we?
wait.
I think that would be great. So, Melissa, you're going to be singing.
Okay.
So why don't you just plan right now to sing your song?
This song is called The Creative Sandbox Manifesto, and it is the 10 rules that I created for myself to get myself into the state of play like a 4-year-old playing in a sandbox to get me back to making my art. Anytime you're feeling stuck, you need some help to get out of the muck. You want to find your way back to flow. You need the Creative Sandbox Manifesto. 1. There is no wrong to think process, not product. 3. Think quantity, not quality. If you take care of the quality will take care of itself. 4. Think tiny and daily, ridiculously achievable. Remember, the most important practice is just getting back on the wagon, so it's a very good thing to make it a very short wagon. 5. If you are stuck, just start anywhere. 6. When in doubt, ask what if. 7. Take the riskier path. 8. Dismiss all gremlins. 9. Spring the comparison trap. 10. Most of all, treat yourself with compassion. Remember the golden formula. Self-awareness plus self-compassion equals the key to everything good. There you have it, Creative Sandbox Manifesto. Go get creating.
Oh, Melissa, that was so, yay.
Thank you.
Inspirational.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. How did you feel when you were singing that song?
Well, I always feel a little bit nervous when I'm in front of an audience, but I feel excited about the opportunity to share my music and my message with more people. So,
well, I love to hear somebody playing the ukulele too. So, so thank you very much for playing.
Oh, my
and
pleasure.
You're very, very talented.
Oh, thank you.
But we want to hear a little bit more from this. So why don't you?
What can I tell you?
What can you tell us? Okay, when you were a little girl, did you see yourself singing?
It's interesting. I always sang from a very young age, and my teachers were always very enthusiastic about my singing. But I was actually more interested in acting, and I didn't see myself as a singer. I just did it because people told me to do it and told me that I was good at it. So it was kind of, I always like to please my teachers.
Of course, of course.
And it wasn't until I got older that I hadn't sung for maybe 10 years, from the age of 20 to 30. I wasn't singing except for my own pleasure in the shower or whatever. And then I had this interesting experience where somebody overheard me singing, who was a music producer, and offered me a job. And I thought he was crazy. I was like, that's just silly.
Yeah.
And
that was the neighbor you were talking about?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I told you about, before the show.
Amazing.
He knocked on my door and offered me a job, and I thought he was mad. And when my husband got home, I told him about it, and my husband was like, well, did you say yes? And I was like, no, of course not. And my husband was like, that's it. I've been listening to you sing for years. You're an amazing singer. That's what you should be doing. And so he insisted that I go out and get singing lessons to build my confidence. He was like, confidence, that's your issue. And he was right. He was absolutely right. And I haven't looked back. Very shortly after that, I met somebody who I started working with, a very talented local guitar player called Gary Kotler, and he's like, you've got to go out and sing in public. And once I got the bug, I was so nervous to sing in front of people, yet at the same time it's so rewarding and satisfying. And especially when you touch people, when people come up to you after you've sung and they say, that really moved me, or that made me feel something, or it's incredibly satisfying. And to think that you're helping somebody maybe process some emotions they're going through, or through your art, through your music.
And that's what Colorful Journey of Success is about. So you're sharing your success stories and the people you help. That's really fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So, well, okay, I was amazed with your voice. When you stood up there and you took hold of that microphone, just out of curiosity, what does it feel to hold a microphone and sing into it? It must. What is the emotional experience like?
Wow, what a great question. I just remember the first time I held a microphone and sang into it was in a class that Armel and I were taking, and I didn't know what to do with it. I felt very awkward and uncomfortable, but now it feels very normal and comfortable, and there's something very empowering about standing up and owning the stage and holding the microphone, and
telling a story with the song that you're singing, whether it's one that you've written yourself or one that somebody else has written. I think, I feel like as artists, and particularly as singers, our job is to help people, like I was saying before, process and feel emotions. Sometimes a lot of people have difficulty with that, and we can help people with that, with the music, and all the gamut of emotions that people have difficulty processing, and it's a way that they can understand that they're not alone in the world.
I so agree with that.
when you're driving and you're stressed with traffic and everything, for me, if I just push that little button and now I hear music, it's kind of like it just relaxes me, and I can deal with the traffic.
Yeah, music is very. It's every culture has music, and of some form or another, and I think it's really essential to the human experience.
However, some of the music that I hear it just adds to the traffic.
Everybody has different tastes.
I have to push that button again.
What is noise to you is sweet, sweet music to somebody else, and so on. We all have, and that's what's great about the world, that there's so much variety.
Right. So I think a question that I'd like to ask you ladies is, do you have a particular song or a genre or style? What I heard you singing on Saturday night was a particular style, but excuse me, describe your styles.
Me, I'm a total jazz girl. I love to sing jazz. I mean, I've had R&B bands and blues. I've sung a lot of heavy hitting hard blues. But jazz is that's where my heart lies. And how
would you describe jazz to the audience?
It's such a broad umbrella. That's like a really difficult question. It's such a huge, broad umbrella. There's so many different kinds of jazz. I myself have been very influenced by vocal jazz, like vocalists like Ella Fitzgerald. The first time I heard her at age like 22 or something, I was 21, and I couldn't believe I'd reached the age of 21 and never heard such this magical voice before. But yeah, I would say Ella Fitzgerald, Carmen McRae, great singers who've influenced me, but also instrumentalists like the great saxophone players like Dexter Gordon and Coltrane and of course Miles Davis, the trumpet player. These are all wonderful places to, if you want to find out about jazz, go listen to some Miles.
Yeah, I'm also, jazz is where my heart really lies, and one of the things that I really love about jazz, and that includes like the whole umbrella, it's such a vast, enormous world of music. The genre is just so vast, but the one thing that probably carries through to all the various different subgenres inside jazz is that it's has an improvisational element, and I really love that. That's my favorite way to create, whether it's painting or music, or I do improv on stage, and I love being in the moment of having no idea what's going to come next and just creating in the moment. And that's one of the things that I love so much about jazz, and it's something that like you never achieve full mastery of, which is another reason why I love it, because I'm always challenged.
There's always more to learn.
Yeah.
Right. Now,
Exactly.
she mentioned some of the role models and the artists that inspired her. Now, how about you?
Well, a lot of the same names that Armel mentioned, as well as, you know, one of the things that I really love to do with my music is looping, which is I actually use an app on my iPad, and it allows me to layer my voice so I can harmonize with myself. I can kind of create a little mini choir, and so there's some people that we've studied with various times at a camp we go to in the summers called Jazz Camp West that is very, very near and dear to my heart.
Me too.
And
Kid Beyond
is somebody who's been very inspirational to me. He uses looping and beatboxing and makes these incredible soundscapes and songs.
Oh, well, do you think you could teach me?
Go get the app. It's called Loopy. Just get the app for your iPhone or your iPad. It's called Loopy.
I like sing in church quietly because everybody else is singing so much louder. But I thought, geez, I'd like to really be able to sing. I can do a lot of things, but the one thing I can't do is to sing.
I don't know.
Well, it is something that you can learn. I mean, when I started studying with the same teacher that Armel had started studying with, Margot Leduc. I started studying with her in 2006, and over the course of the 3 years that I studied with her, and the only reason I stopped was time and money issues, my voice completely transformed. I can do things with my voice now because of just studying and practicing with Margot, and then on my own afterwards. I can do things now that I never thought that I could do, because the voice is just like a muscle. You know, you have to build up your bicep. You know, you have to use it.
People tell me they can't sing, and I'm like, everybody
can sing.
Everybody has a voice. Everybody can sing.
Well, I'm sure there's some people in our audience that would, this information is very valuable to them.
Yeah, I mean, you may not be able to sing like Ella Fitzgerald. I'm never going to sing like Ella Fitzgerald, but you can learn to sing better.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
you can learn to tap into your own authentic voice.
Absolutely, and I think singing, the voice is the first instrument.
Yep.
And it's such a basic part of being human and communication. Everybody can sing, and anybody who feels like they can't sing, I'm sure when they're alone in the shower, they're singing, and they're enjoying it, and it brings you so much joy. It's like, I don't know, I feel like everybody can learn to sing better.
Yeah, if you can speak, you can sing.
It's interesting because I have an Airbnb business, and so one of the guests was taking a shower the other night, and he's from China. He was singing in Chinese.
Oh, cool.
But he, but I could, it was fun listening to someone sing in the shower. And so I thought,
that would be interesting because they have a different tonal.
The language is a tonal language.
Yeah, right. Also like we have the Western scale that everybody's familiar with, do, re, mi, fa, so, la, ti, do. And, but the Chinese have I don't even know what it is, but it's different.
They've got like subtones or something like that.
It's pretty cool.
I think the people who think that they can't sing very, very often were shamed around their voice when they were young. Yeah. Like my mother was told, just mouth the words, honey. Don't sing when she was a kid. So she grew up feeling like she couldn't sing. And I know so many people that same thing, whether it's around music or art or writing or something. So almost half the population has been shamed in that way. So they believe they're not able to do that.
Well, I really thought about when you said that. Well, I thought all of a sudden it went. But I'm kind of curious, when you were growing up, were your parents kind of like encouraging you or discouraging you, say, oh no, you need to go to college and et cetera, et cetera? And so
My parents were very encouraging.
Okay.
I got discouraged by falling into the comparison trap pretty young, and then perfectionist paralysis.
Yeah.
And my parents, my mother's a visual artist, so she has
encouraged
a lot of respect for the arts.
Okay,
you know,
that's
and my dad as well.
Well, unfortunately, we're just kind of like, we need to kind of like wrap this up because, but I know the time just goes whoosh like that. So one thing I will ask is a word of wisdom, a wow. Give us a wow, and it has to be just very, very.
You go first.
Okay.
To
inspire the audience, because we want to hear you sing. You can sing us out. But
well, I will tell you, I have what I refer
3
to
words.
as my golden formula. Self-awareness plus self-compassion equals the key to everything good.
I love it.
That's
if I can remember it. But that's really great. So that's a little gift to the audience. Okay. Now give us a wow. Right.
Gee, I don't know if I can do better than that. I mean, I
just 3 words, just, you know.
I feel like no, it's not. Be kind to yourself,
yes.
you know, and give yourself an opportunity to try, you know.
Okay. Well, I think putting this show together, I came up with the idea that this is creativity is flexibility.
Absolutely.
So true.
So, anyway, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
A Colorful
you.
Journey of Success.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure. And so we need to, I want to hear you sing, but anyway, I hope the audience really appreciated all of this. And if you happen to have an idea for a show, I'd like to hear from you. Please give me. That was really, really fantastic. So I want you to have a wonderful, wonderful life. Good luck to you, etc., etc. May all your goals and dreams come true. My name is Claire Mullen, Colorful Journey of Success. So now we're going to close the show with the amazing voice of
Armel. Armel Delaney.
So what are you
Thank
going to
you.
sing for us?
I'm going to sing Just Friends.
Just Friends.
Which
Perfect.
is a song written 1931, John Clenna. It's a jazz standard from the Great American Songbook. Just friends, lovers no more. Just friends, not like before. To think of what we've been, not to kiss again seems like pretending it isn't the ending. 2 friends drifting apart. 2 friends, only 1 broken heart. We loved, we laughed, we cried. Suddenly love died. The story ends. We're just friends. The story